I've even been here to the odd wine fair, but never knee-deep in clay. And there's 9,000 tons of it here tonight, specially brought in by over 500 trucks over the past few days to transform this huge hall into one of the most spectacular indoor motocross circuits in the UK. Add to that the world's best indoor motocross riders, including the all-conquering Americans, and you have international transatlantic Supercross.
From 8 nations had to be weeded out to determine which would go through to the grand final at the end of the evening. That was done by a process of heats. We're watching the Heat 1 leader, Greg Albertine, newly crowned 125cc World Motocross Champion, winning Heat 1 in convincing style. Heat 2 and the crowd rooting here for the home favourite. Rob Herring, number 11, but being hotly challenged by Larry Ward, one of the vivid Americans. The number 2 Suzuki, Larry Ward, pursuing Herring in relentless fashion. Rob Herring, though, with a 9,000-strong crowd behind him, in terrific form. Ward, though, still in second place and charging hard. And that's an almighty tumble, and bad news indeed for Larry Ward, who fell in Heat 2, but we see him come back to fight again. Herring, meanwhile, in tremendous form over this 420-yard circuit here at the NEC, specially built by the course builder Jerry Stansbury, with a multiplicity of jumps and obstacles. Herring, though, mastering it perfectly. Heat 2 win for Rob Herring on the factory Honda. Double British champion in both 125 and 250cc classes. Herring, the darling of the crowd here at the NEC, has no problem whatsoever in Heat 2. He'll move on automatically to the semi-final. Another home favourite from Ripley in Derbyshire, Jamie Dobb, factory Kawasaki rider, number 12, hits the front in Heat 3. Dobb then just about unchallenged throughout, looking over the shoulder almost contemptuously at the rest of the 16-strong pack. High in the air, fist in the air for Dobb, Heat 3. Heat 4 went easily to Jeff Ward in his last Supercross. He goes car racing next year. Heat 5 then, the man to watch in this, the number 2 Suzuki, Larry Ward, in the middle of the pack, and an almighty tumble. Down he goes. There is indeed one last chance for Larry Ward, but Heat 5 goes with a stunning victory to the Belgian Werner de Wit. One solitary rider will qualify from this, the last chance, and Ward is sitting in second place. He must win. Larry Ward, the crowd behind him, urging him on, round the outside of the berm, high over the bump. The Supercross star from the USA, Larry Ward, looking as though he means business, and he gets it. He's through to the semis. Plenty of off-track action here for the spectators at the NEC. Trade stands very abundant, lots of things for the people to spend their money on while there is a lull in the proceedings. They can even mix with the competitors in the paddock, and they are now eagerly awaiting semi-final 1. And away they go, the 16 in the first semi. Number 6 hitting the front, Mike Craig, one of the factory USA Kawasaki men. And Craig, a tremendous leap. Some of the jumps here are known as triple jumps, and they can be literally taken 3 major bumps in one hit. Now look at Craig, number 6, coming high through the air though, into second place, the number 12 Kawasaki, Jamie Dobb. So Dobb from Ripley in Derbyshire, who has stated that there is now no future for him in the UK in 1993, intends to go racing in the USA, is in brilliant form here at the NEC in second place. In third, Larry Ward on the Suzuki. So Kawasaki lead, Kawasaki second, Suzuki in third. Number 17 there, Warren Edwards from Kent, who was a sensation here 3 years ago at the NEC, is having less of a star-studded performance in 1992. Already a gap opening out. But the undisputed leader at this point in the proceedings, number 6, Mike Craig, then it's Dobb, then it's Larry Ward. And Larry Ward, number 2, has made it abundantly clear that he would like to lift the title here, a very prestigious event, and a not insignificant amount of money waiting on the end of it. Craig, however, the 2 Kawasaki's going really well indeed. Suzuki in third, there's Edwards, number 17. The rest of the field stringing through, but Craig has got something like 8 meters now between himself and the second place, which is being hotly disputed. Craig, however, number 6, your race leader. The noise here in Hall 5 at the NEC absolutely deafening, because the crowd sense that there is an amazing scrap developing, and you're watching it now. This is the second place battle. Number 2 in third, Larry Ward, the man who's been thrilling the crowd earlier on in the evening with some aerial acrobatics, is now closing on the second place man. There is the race leader still, Mike Craig, number 6 on the Kawasaki. Foot out, up into third gear, driving round on the hard-packed clay. Look at the speed they go across there. Now there's a triple jump at the end. Side by side, it's Dobb, and oh dear me, Jamie Dobb landed on the crest of the bump, and that is a catastrophe for the young Englishman, and he's battered. He is not very happy at all. Let's have a look. The head is dropping. There's just not enough distance on that leap. Number 12 then, James Dobb. His race is over, so up into second place goes Larry Ward. The crowd sensing, I think, that Larry Ward can pull this one off. So we have an American in the lead. We have an American in second. And Mike Craig is having the ride of his life, but looking now just a little bit ragged. He'll be well aware that Larry Ward is closing him down, and just look at the speed at which Ward comes into the picture. On the inside, now he's picking the line and waiting. Larry Ward, who first rode here in the UK, and it's the number 2 rider I'm talking about, several years ago as a schoolboy, and he won the event then. This is his first time back. That was conventional motocross. This is indoor motocross, and look at that! Over the triple jump, Larry Ward, number 2. Passing Craig in midair. Spectacular stuff. Craig hanging onto his shirt tails, though, not about to give up. He's fighting back. Suzuki leads Kawasaki. Craig then sees the opportunity of making a name for himself. First time here at the NEC in front of the British fans for Mike Craig. He'll certainly be back next year when the event is staged in 1993, as indeed will the race leader Larry Ward, who's already said he likes the circuit, likes the organisation, and he loves his Suzuki. 1 lap to go then, just 420 metres of this NEC circuit in the first semi-final for Larry Ward to do. Cruising home now, dare I say, to the grand final. That really will be a stunner. Almost coasting now, Larry Ward. Halfway round the last lap. A cursory glance over the left shoulder just to see where Craig is. But Craig no longer in the reckoning. Larry Ward has this one all to himself. There it is, the checkered flag, semi-final number 1 goes to Larry Ward. And I have to say, he's going to be the man to beat. Craig then disconsolate, I think, having been knocked down. And into third place, the young South African Greg Albertine. But the Americans, 1 and 2. Semi-final number 2, and we are promised a battle royal. It was a Honda hit the front, and it was indeed the number 15 Honda of Eric Kehoe. Another American going, and right with him, Matt Gordon from the Midlands. So the West Midlands' own Matt Gordon is there in second place. Kehoe, number 15, however, leads. Similarly mounted Gordon, who's ridden a variety of machines in his time, including KTM, is there on the Honda, though, in second place, and giving the American a run for his money. The local crowd urging Gordon on. In third place, the number 32, Philippe de Pasquier. And de Pasquier, one of the Swiss brothers, entered here for the event at the NEC, running well in third. Oh. These 3 now stretching away. Number 15, Kehoe, Honda. Then it's Matt Gordon, number 19. Then it's de Pasquier, and I think this is really what the second semi-final is going to be about. A 3-corner titanic struggle at the front of the pack. Over the whoops. Now this is the tricky part of the circuit. High over this jump with a left-hander. Immediately after it, over they go. And the 6th place man getting it terribly wrong, falling there. That's Jeremy Buell, the 19-year-old, pitching out, cartwheeling over the handlebars on the left-hand side of the circuit. Meanwhile, Kehoe now coming under real pressure from the number 32, de Pasquier. Race leader still number 15. Eric Kehoe from the USA. My goodness me, how these Americans are dominating here but some of the local lads giving them very much a run for their money. And I think Kehoe would be a bit surprised by the fact that De Pasquier from Switzerland, hitherto unknown in Supercross, is pressing in so hard in the second semi-final. And De Pasquier, having said that, has gone past, and Kehoe, terribly wrong, throws it down. That lets the rest of the field through. Now, it's touch and go whether the number 15 Kehoe manages in time. He's got to finish in the top 6 to get through. And my rudimentary mathematics tell me that he is in 7th place at the moment. Rob Herring, number 11. First we've seen of Herring in this semi-final, shaping up well though. So Rob Herring now very much on the charge, and number 5, Jeremy Buell, getting it wrong again. So that youngster really has a good bit to learn, just 19 years of age, and he'll go home fairly rueful, I think, about his proceedings at the NEC in 1992. De Pasquier, number 32, however, pressing on regardless, totally unaware of the chaos behind him, gets the checkered flag and builds this to a crescendo. De Pasquier, Rob Herring took second, and Marcus Hansen, late entry on the Honda, was third. This is really what it's all about. 16 riders doing battle over the 420-meter circuit. No holds barred, no quarter asked, none given. Tremendous start from the word go. The 125cc reigning world champion Greg Albertine hits the front, number 10, hotly pursued, much to the delight of the British crowd, by former South African base, now living in Northampton, Rob Herring, number 11. Herring, multiple British champion in his years of motocross in the UK, spent most of his formative years, as I said, in South Africa, and there seems to be strength in depth in the South African riders. But Herring, very much an Englishman now, in second place, going hard. Mike Craig in third, the number 2, Larry Ward, on the Suzuki in fourth. And really, this is where the battle is. Albertine, the young South African who started his Supercross career some 5 years ago when he was 17 years of age, is out in front and really means business. Took the 125cc crown. Mike Craig, very much an indoor Supercross specialist, number 6. Not quite so much at home on the outdoor circuits as this man, Albertine, who is really showing the rest of the pack a clean pair of heels. Herring, however, still some 3 or 4 meters adrift, but not letting go. Very tenacious, Rob Herring, number 11, in second place. Now up to third on the Suzuki, Larry Ward slips through on the inside of Mike Craig, forcing the Kawasaki rider down into fourth. Just look at the altitude. That's something like 4 or 5 meters in the air for Albertine. And Herring is closing. The crowd here, the klaxons blaring in a deafening crescendo as Herring moves in for the kill. Second place then for Rob Herring. A home victory on home soil would be tremendous, and what a feat for Rob Herring in the face of the world's best international Supercross riders. Number 2 on the bike, however, number 9 on his back. Disregard the number 9. It's the 2 we're looking at. The third place man, Larry Ward, who scraped into the semi-final by the skin of his teeth by virtue of winning the last chance race, which in fact was Heat 6, is now really acquitting that qualification place admirably. He's in third place and charging, but we're looking now at the battle for the lead, and Herring is going for it on the outside, round the velodrome. Herring, number 11, having a good look at Albertine, who's now looking just a little bit ragged. So the race leader, for some reason, and there's a strap flapping below the chin of Albertine, which indicates that all might not be well with his crash helmet. Now, he's certainly not riding to the best of his ability. He's slowed down, he's getting it all wrong there, losing concentration. Albertine is up into second place, goes Larry Ward, number 2. Ward then defeating Herring on the inside of that turn. Race leader number 10, still Larry Ward in second place, but menacingly close now to the Honda rider. Albertine still trying to regain his composure under enormous psychological pressure because he knows the man behind him. And this is the third place now, Rob Herring. From Weedon in Northampton, Rob Herring. And if he can finish in third and get on the rostrum here tonight at the NEC, he will win the hearts of the home crowd, and there are some 10,000 of them. Capacity crowd in this hall. Larry Ward, number 2, looking for the whole shot on the inside and going through, but no, Albertine fighting back, challenging back, and Albertine with 1 foot off the footrest has to settle for second best. And a contemptuous gesture as the yellow flags go out. That means someone's fallen. But undeterred, Larry Ward pressing on. Further down the field, however, number 18 rider there, that's Ryan Hunt. The young South African now looking as though he's in 4th place and pressing hard. So Ryan Hunt closing up. Oh, and almost off the footrest. But Larry Ward, the race leader. There's Warren Edwards, number 17. Larry Ward still. Greg Albertine. Rob Herring. Mike Craig is still lurking there, but closing very, very quickly now. The number 18 bike, Ryan Hunt, on the factory Yamaha. Still with the race leader, though. Lapping the tail enders now. They're getting around here in something just over 40 seconds, and that is phenomenally quick in this sort of going. Second place still Albertine. So settling now for second. There's a fair check on the end of that as well, so he won't be too concerned, although the win would have been nice, I'm sure. Topping off his World Championship victory nicely. There's no beating Larry Ward, however, it would appear. Number 2, Ward. There's Matt Gordon, number 19, about to be lapped. And Gordon must have had a problem. It's unusual for the race leader to catch him up so quickly in the proceedings. Albertine high in the air. Mike Craig still. Number 6, still there in 3rd place. The race leader, however, pressing on now with a mammoth cushion between himself and the 2nd place. Albertine picking up his crash helmet. It could have been that the hat came off with 1 lap to go. Unbelievably bad luck for Greg Albertine, but undeterred and pressing on towards the checkered flag. Larry Ward, it's breathless here in the commentary point. And equally as breathless, I'm sure, on the track, Larry Ward, having given a stunning display of riding to the home crowd, still tripling the big jump at the end of the straight. 12 or 15 feet in the air. Astonishing. So indoor Supercross really here to stay, I suspect, in the UK. The crowd love it. And we hope you've enjoyed this little snapshot of Supercross at home, because this is what it's all about. Larry Ward on the Suzuki, showing everybody just how good he is. The checkered flag awaits him as he comes round here. Larry Ward's going to take it. He gets the win, fist in the air, jubilant. Waiting now for the 2nd place man, who is some... Oh, there's De Pasquier. He's not second, we know that. Tail enders coming over now. And there's Albertine having remounted. Craig was well up. Eric Kehoe was a tail ender, but there's your winner. No mistaking, Larry Ward on the Suzuki took the final. Confirmation of that result. Larry Ward indeed took the win. You saw it for yourselves. Mike Craig a good 2nd, and young Ryan Hunt on the Yamaha. He'll be thrilled with 3rd.
It was a lot of fun, actually. Those guys were riding good. The track's really demanding tonight, with the dirt being extra soft, and I just didn't let it get to me. I just kept plugging along. I felt like I could go faster, but I didn't want to crash, and I just went out there and put on a good show for the crowd and had a lot of fun.
He certainly did that, didn't he? A good day's work at the office for Larry Ward. The champagne corks pop. We hope you enjoyed this Supercross coverage from the NEC.
Well, event day 2, the International. We have just seen Larry Ward win the Saturday night final. Now it is Sunday. This is the first of 2 semi-finals. Number 6, Mike Craig. And behind him is Jeff Ward, then Greg Albertine, and then the pack, because they haven't separated yet. But it's Craig making the early break. We saw him do this in the semi-final on Saturday, and then he was gradually reeled in by Larry Ward. Albertine under pressure from number 4, Jeff Ward. And Craig looking very composed at the moment. The track, having been indoors for an extra 24 hours, still no drier or lighter than it was. We heard Larry Ward saying that it is very difficult. It's making it difficult to clear the jumps. The rider's really having trouble getting the speed to jump here, and it's clogging up brakes, getting into the footrests, all of those problems. But look at that. Doesn't seem to be much of a problem to get these bikes off the ground. Craig Albertine Bit of a hard landing there for number 18, the South African Ryan Hunt. He came third in the final on Saturday. And there is Albertine, just sneaking alongside Craig now, or trying to, and they are wheel to wheel, brushing shoulders. Craig fending off the South African. That is Jeff Ward. Back on and apparently undamaged, but he's lost the time. And that seems to have given Mike Craig lots and lots of breathing space at the front somehow, because he is away and clear of Greg Albertine. And looking very composed indeed, very much in charge. One lap to go as he closes with Dutchman Pedro Tractor, who has for so long been one of their leading lights. Regular runner in Motocross of Nations, but this really hasn't suited him at all this weekend. Well, a little bit of a bounce there for Craig, didn't quite make it all the way over the jumps there, landed short and managed to hang on to that. And now looking for the checkered flag. He knows that Albertine's a long way behind him. He's virtually cruising this. There in the distance you can see Greg Albertine. There's the checkered flag. Well, he was on not half throttle, but 80% throttle for half a lap. Craig Albertine, Ryan Hunt, Jeff Ward, Donny Schmidt. 7 go through. The other 2 are Jason Higgs and Darrell Atkins. Higgs, the British rider, Darrell Atkins from New Zealand, as we go on to the second semi-final. Larry Ward, probably the man to watch for as he goes through on the inside and gets a good start. Looks back over his shoulder. He's well clear of the pack already. Kehoe's in there chasing after him. Also Kelly Swanson, British rider, number 41. And it's Swanson who's got second place. Kehoe is in third, and they're sorting themselves out behind as they go around this 425-yard track. And 39 challenging Kehoe. Over the jumps, Justin Morris. But look at Larry Ward. He is clear at the front. Swanson behind him in second place is a long way down. And this is looking as though it could be another Larry Ward benefits. Ward looking very comfortably in charge of this race. And this looks like disaster again for Jerry Buell. We saw him tumble off the edge of the circuit on Saturday and then slap into the bales as well. And another unfortunate appearance. Ward, meanwhile, clear. And making it look so easy. Herring really working hard to catch him up. Robbie Herring challenging and chasing, but look at the gap. He's got a long way to go. Well, he is working at it, there's no doubt about this, but here is Ward, and Ward is still maintaining the same pace. Look at Robbie Herring fly that Honda, though. Herring definitely wants to win this semi-final. All he has to do is finish in the top 7 to get a place in the final for tonight, but he really is flying. He's being pushed on. Oh, and he's caught a bale. He flies and he goes down. Robbie Herring absolutely encouraged by the cheers and enthusiasm of the crowd inside this NEC stadium. And he was giving it his everything as he flew after Larry Ward. Ward in front of him knew that all he had to do was maintain the pace to stay in front and win the race. Herring was the man with all the pressure and everything to do. He had to try harder. He had to clip the corners. He had to give just a couple of % more than Larry Ward to get after him. He did that. He courted disaster, and disaster struck. He's overcome it and back up on two wheels and chasing again. But this is really Larry Ward's race now. Ward still keeping up the pace. He could afford to slacken it somewhat, but he's very confident, very much in the groove. Herring back up and back after him, but really has lost so much ground that it's all academic now. Herring not the man to give up and slow down, but quite frankly he might just as well, because he isn't going to catch Larry Ward now. Oh, and look at that. Down goes number 15, Eric Kehoe. And that takes some of the pressure off Robbie Herring, and Kehoe gets it going again, but he's lost a good few places. As Ward goes round the outside of one of the Belgian Honda men. Back markers all now really for Larry Ward. One lap to go. But really, with the distance back to second place and Robbie Herring now, it might just as well be 5 laps. Still no slackening of his attack. Ward, he said yesterday that he wanted to put on a show and give the crowd something to cheer for, and he maintains this pace all the way to the end. So many of these American riders are entertainers. They're showmen as well as racers. Both hands off the bars as he goes over the jump and takes the checkered flag. Larry Ward wins the second semi-final from Rob Herring, Warren Edwards, Eric Kehoe and Kelly Swanson. Don't forget that 7 riders go through to the final. The other 2 are Billy Lyles and Britain's Nathan Shelton. And we'll be seeing that final in a couple of minutes' time after the break. And to the final, if you like, the second of the international finals, Sunday evening at the NEC. The semis are out of the way, and Robbie Herring is challenging for the lead as they go into the turn straight away, and it is number 11. Rob Herring in the lead. Mike Craig, Eric Kehoe right behind him. There's Larry Ward in the middle of that pack, and he really didn't get quite the start that he would have hoped for. Herring is through. Craig is behind him. Kehoe is behind that. There is Ward a long way down, and this is bad news for Ward. He won a semi-final and a final and a last chance race, incidentally, yesterday. He won his semi-final and a heat here this evening already, and now looks to win this final and almost make a clean sweep. But he was hemmed in at the start, and he is a long way down, and he's got a lot of people in front of him. Riding on the back wheel of number 21. That was the plate scheduled to go to Dave Strybos, who isn't here. It's Billy Lyles. But this is Britain's Robbie Herring right out in front now. Craig is the man behind in second place. Great Britain, Honda in the lead. America and Kawasaki in second place. And Herring, we saw in his semi-final, was going so well in second place, chasing so hard, and just clipped a straw bale. Lost a lot of ground, although he managed to hang on to his second place. Couldn't catch Larry Ward for the win, though. Now, can he stay in front and clear of Craig? A lot of what we've seen here this weekend has to do with endurance and with stamina. And if you don't believe me, just grip the arm of your chair as hard as you can with both hands now, and don't let go until the checkered flag drops. And that's just 10-15% of the pummeling the forearms of these riders will get during the course of this 20-lap final. And for most of them, this is at least their third turnout of the evening. Herring being reeled in by Craig, who we have seen has not always had the strength to last the distance in the semis, and has been caught by partly the experience, but also the fitness of other riders. And so will Robbie Herring have the strength to stay in front of Craig, and will Craig be reeled in by the men behind him? Albertine is somewhere in the pack behind him. So also is this man, Larry Ward. But Ward has got an awful lot of time to catch up now, and a lot of riders to get past, and Ward looks to be in trouble. It looks to me as though Larry Ward is fighting against considerable odds, and he is having to work very hard indeed, starting to get a bit scrappy there already, and Craig is closing with Robbie Herring. Herring, Craig, first and second. Well, the British crowd absolutely on their feet for this one, urging Robbie Herring on, but Craig has just been getting closer and closer as they have been lapping this circuit. Now Craig's on his tail, and it looks to be just a matter of time and opportunity before number 6, Mike Craig, is through and into the lead. Well, Craig's always gone deep into the corners. We've seen that holding the tighter line paid off time and time again for Larry Ward. And there is Craig's move. Through he goes. Mike Craig leads it. Rob Herring is in second place. Third place, whoever it is, he's a long way behind, because these two have carried their battle away from the rest of the pack. So wrapped up in what they have been doing that they have ridden away from everyone else. And Herring seems to be struggling somewhat now, almost as if he played all his cards in the opening lap, and there is now nothing left. Well, that says it all, really. And gets it going again, but didn't really appear to be in very much of a hurry. Robbie Herring shot his bolt in contention for the lead, and now will be content with whatever he can get from this. Here's Ward, and he never stops trying, but he's got a long way to go. Craig has got himself some breathing space at the front of the field. He knows, though, that it won't be long before they start coming for him. Ryan Hunt, number 18. Just going round the outside of New Zealander Darrell Atkins, number 25. Hunt with the Yamaha, looking very polished indeed, has Larry Ward right behind him, and there is just a lap to go. Oh, and Ryan Hunt lines badly. Ward is up alongside him straight away, challenging for the gap. Hunt manages to hold him off. Craig doesn't know very much about this. He's still in the lead and hasn't got far to go. Ward and Ryan Hunt battling behind him. Hunt struggling to hang on to second place. Larry Ward having done a fine job of coming up into third, but can't fly past Ryan Hunt the way he managed to do so in his semi-finals and his finals when he was battling with Craig. Ryan Hunt, here's the checkered flag for Mike Craig, who takes the victory, looks round to see where everybody else is, and there they are, Ryan Hunt, Larry Ward, second and third. Fourth place, somewhere in the background, to number 10, Greg Albertine. Rob Herring collecting fifth place, and then Eric Kehoe, Donny Schmidt, Darrell Atkins, Jason Higgs, Jeff Ward, Billy Lyles, and still going, Warren Edwards, Nathan Shelton and Marcus Hanton. But there is the leaderboard, the top 5. Mike Craig wins the Sunday night final, which is also our final race from the NEC. We'll go back to the Springfield Boys Club, rejoin Tyrone and Andrew, and watch out for a courageous display.